Welcome back, Aries. We're here to do your weekly for the week starting May the 29th. We are going to have the week starting on a Monday and running through to the weekend so that we don't have the weekend energy all broken up. Let's see what comes up for you guys, Aries. Starting off with some really nice cards. Like that a lot. Okay, starting off on Monday with the Fool card showing up here. Now, the Fool card is just telling me, Aries, that you are beginning something new, something maybe even as a leap of faith, not knowing exactly where it's going to take you, but knowing that you just know that you know that you know that it's the right thing to do. So, following that intuition, following that gut, and just seeing where it leads you. We like that. That's fantastic and totally within your normal personality as well. Now, on Tuesday, Aries, we have the sun coming out. The sun is a really good card. It talks about the truth being around, it talks about joy, happiness, talks about enliftment, encouragement, upliftment, I should say. So, all kinds of good things coming out on Tuesday. So, Tuesday is going to be one of those days where things just sort of seem to fall into place, and maybe even with an extra bonus or an extra boost with those things. So, we like that. And actually, let's see in what area are they going to fall into place. And actually, we should go back to Monday too and look at what your new start has to do with. Let's start with Let's start with why is the day so good on Tuesday, and then we'll back up to Monday. Boop, ba-da-doo, doo. Oh, well, this is really wonderful. So it looks like what's happening, you've got the mice and the clouds. So there's some type of confusion that you're chewing away at. You're getting some good information coming in. So that's why Tuesday is looking so good. You're getting some real clarity around something that you've been confused about. So tell me more about this Fool. What does this new beginning have to do with? Boop, bada. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so we've got the lilies and we've got a dog here. So dogs talk about loyalty. Lilies talk about a couple of things. I want to clarify the lilies a little bit more. Mm, yeah, okay. So this is interesting. This is a being clarified. The lilies are being clarified by the bear and the woman, which just tells me that this Fool is some kind of something new that you're doing with a romantic partner or a romantic interest. For a lot of you, this is going to be with your husband or with your wife, with your spouse. And if you're not married, then this would probably, I'm guessing this is going to be with somebody that um, maybe you're just amping up the relationship, but a new beginning there. So, beginning of a new level, whether you're just beginning to get to know somebody or whether you're beginning to date exclusively or whatever, some kind of relationship thing happening there with that whole new beginning, that leap of faith. So, let's look at Wednesday. Here we have the Queen of Pentacles showing up in reverse. Wednesday, Aries, I feel like you're going to be wishing that you had. Is that true? No, actually, it's not. I think Aries on Wednesday, you're going to realize there's somebody that you've been trying to be really generous to and trying to be helpful to them so that they can, get on their own feet. And instead, you're seeing that it's just making them more dependent on you instead of actually empowering them, which is you were hoping to empower them. And so you're deciding it's time to cut off that um, generosity, that thing where you're being generous because it's being counterproductive. It's actually not helping, it's hurting. Let's see what this situation has to do with. hmm All right, so you guys have the snake and the ship coming up. So this has to do with making smart changes. You've got somebody who's in transition in your life and you're trying to help them make smart changes. They could even be moving or traveling. and you were trying to help them with their whole traveling situation or their moving situation, and you're realizing that they're just starting to count on you rather than take care of themselves with the extra boost that you're giving them. All right, looking at Thursday, Five of Swords in reverse. Five of Swords in reverse, Aries, you're being called upon to be the peacemaker. Either you're having some kind of disagreement with somebody in your sphere of influence, or you're being called upon to keep the peace between two parties not getting along very well at all. Either way, you're called upon to be the peacemaker. Let's see what information comes up around this situation where you're the peacemaker, Aries. This has to do with somebody that you care greatly about, and it has to do with being smart with that fox showing up about this situation with somebody that you care greatly about. So it may be the wisest thing is to keep the peace. It may be a point of choosing your battles and realizing this battle is not what you want. Or once again, you could be helping somebody, that you feel very close to come to a peaceful arrangement with somebody else that you care about as well. I'm assuming you care about the other person, maybe not so much, but you want at least one of these people to have peace if you're the peacemaker between two. All right, let's look at Friday. Two of Wands. So, Friday, you guys are thinking about the impression that you're making on other people, about how other people are walking away from you. What are you doing for them, doing against them? How are you leaving people who interact with you? You're thinking about that. What kind of, not so much impression, but impact is more the word I'm looking for. What kind of impact are you having on those in your sphere of influence is what you're looking at on Friday. And specifically, that situation has to do with the idea of reflection and cutting out reflection. You maybe have somebody, you may have been thinking out loud around somebody and you're realizing, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I want to come to my conclusions before I start talking to this person about situations. That may be what you're doing, or people in general, even. All right, so Saturday we have the Eight of Wands showing up in reverse. And Sunday we have the Hierophant in reverse. I just feel like these two cards are really kind of rolling into each other, Saturday and Sunday. That Eight of Wands in reverse talks about not having a lot of communication back and forth. Hierophant in reverse talks about this idea of coming out of a contract or agreement. This can, this is a long-term contract or agreement. This can be um, looking at the idea of paying off a mortgage or not signing on the dotted line for a mortgage if you haven't already, or getting out of some other kind of contract or agreement. Maybe there's an employer-employee relationship you're looking at getting out of, but looking at getting out of some kind of contract or agreement. There's not a lot of talk about it with that Eight of Wands in reverse coming in on Saturday. This is not something that's really being discussed, although I think it's pretty heavy on your mind, Aries, but there's not a lot of talk happening there. Let's look at that Eight of Wands. Yeah, look at this. So that Eight of Wands, what we know about this is with the clover and the bouquet, this is actually, um, interestingly, it's basically saying it's a good idea not to be talking a lot about whatever it is, whatever contract or agreement you're wanting to get out of. This shows you making some kind of visit somewhere. You could be visiting a female, doesn't have to be, but making some kind of visit. And on this visit, it's a good idea to mum's the word, not say anything there. Okay. When we look at the Hierophant, let's see what this has to do with this contract or agreement that you want to come out of or you don't want to get into, one or the other. You're not wanting anything to do with the long-term contract or agreement. What is this about? Mm. This has to do. Okay, the ship has to do with something travel or online, and the tower has to do with something that's government or big company. So you may not want to travel for work, or it could even be that you don't want to work from home. You may not want to commit to that, but there's definitely something about work here. Hmm. Yeah, this is interesting. I was going to try and, well, I was, trying to feel into here and see which way it's playing out because that's two very different meanings with the ship there. But for some of you, yeah, you're not going to want to agree to travel for work or commute to work or even, like take business trips for work. You're not going to want to make that kind of contract or agreement. For others of you, so you may be trying to get that contract not monitored, modified. And for others of you, you may not want to commit to working from home. Exactly the opposite. You may not want to commit to working online. You may want your work to be in person. You may want to be really meeting people and interacting with people, you know, up close and personal. All right. So that's what we have for the week, Aries. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. And of course, you guys are my sponsors. I'm not peddling any wares here. So please remember to put a thumbs up on this video, share it out to the world, and put comments down below. I always love to hear your feedback anyway. And it also helps the logarithm for YouTube. And then what else should you know? I am doing readings this week. If you'd like to get one, all you have to do is get a hold of me. All my contact information is on my website up in the corner there. And yeah, we'll get you scheduled and taken care of as quickly as possible. And what else? Everybody just have a fantastic week. Peace out.